My father and I have spoken about a lot of very different things. One of the things that we've spoken about is the difference between taxis in Thailand. He explained to me that the green and yellow taxis are owned, and the pink ones can be rented out on a daily basis, something you usually don't see in the US. The memory that I just recounted may not seem very important to you, but it was a very memorable moment with my father. Another thing that my father and I have discussed is the Metropolitan Opera. Over the past 3 years, he and I have seen 3 different operas, and each one has been great. Again, the memory that I just shared with you may not seem very important to you, but it was a very memorable moment with my father. And my dad is working 70-hour weeks, managing dozens of teams of lawyers, and somehow he still manages to have time for me. Isn't that crazy? Some other things that my father and I speak about are history and politics. World War II was a horrible and bloody war. If you wanted to fit all the casualties of World War II into NRG Stadium, where the Super Bowl was recently played, there would have to be another 820 NRG stadiums built. Can you imagine that? 821 super-sized stadiums filled with casualties. My great-grandpa died in that war. My grandfather was only 4 when his father died. As a result, they spent no time together. But little did he know when my great-grandfather died that he was setting a benchmark for fathers and sons in our family to make sure to spend quality time together. As a result, my grandfather and father spent a lot of quality time together, and they still do. And now, my father is carrying on the legacy and spending a lot of quality time with me. In 1974, Harry Chapin released a song called In The Cradle. And that same year when it was released, it was a top 100 Billboard song. When anyone in my family listens to it, it makes them cry. The song is about a dad who works too hard and as a result has no time for his son. The legacy continues when the son comes back from college and has no time for his father. All he wants to do is drive his car. I want you to imagine that this card right here, what is this? The Jack of Hearts. I want you to imagine that this card is your closest family member, whether that's your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, anybody in your family. And I want you to imagine that they disappear in an instant. Thank you. There's also a book by Michael Cunningham called The Hours. And there's this one character in The Hours whose name is Richard. And he's a young man who remembers a moment when he was young and happy. And he describes how he felt in that moment. And he says, "So this is the beginning of happiness. This is where it starts. And of course, there will always be more. Never had it occur to me it wasn't the beginning. It was happiness. It was the moment, right then." The idea that Richard is trying to convey is that we have to embrace the moment. We cannot ignore and look to the future. We cannot think that we are on the brink of happiness. We have to realize this is the happiness. For instance, as I said earlier, I go to the Met a lot. And when I go to the Met, I need to be in the moment. I need to listen to the music and think, this is the happiness, not anything that comes after. I need to do that right now. How cool is it to be up here, standing in front of all of you? I'm a 7th grader, and I'm doing a TED Talk. What comes later today, or even next year, is not important. Right now, I need to think about the crowd, the lights, my family watching. This is not the beginning of happiness. This is the happiness. Thank you.